Why are you unstoppable?
Why are you inspired?
Why are you interested?
Why are you bold?
Why are you on CJRU?
The views expressed in this program do not necessarily reflect those of the Office of the Provincial Advocate for Children and Youth.
Welcome to the Why Are You radio show. I'm a little nervous. This is our first podcast. We're just trying to get comfortable here. We literally just met a few hours ago. We wanted to mention that we're all wearing name tags right now. And so bear with us. We want to be authentic. And yeah, let's see what happens. So let's start off with a few questions to get to know each other. We're going to introduce ourselves by name. I'm Elizabeth, and I think I'll start with, what do you do for fun? Yasmin?
I'm Yasmin, and what I do for fun, I really like to sing. I'm obsessed with Demi Lovato's new album right now, so I've been singing a lot of the songs off that one. I also do a lot of writing, and I do a lot of journaling in my spare time.
Personally, myself, I do a lot of reading. I sit in the back of my library at my school. I read exclusively off of the nonfiction shelf. I don't like fiction. I love to just read about things. I think there's so much knowledge that you can gain from learning books.
On another note, my name's Marty. I do different types of readings. I focus on tarot readings in my spare time, which is super fun, super grounding, and I'm still learning quite a bit about it, but I like to do them once a month, once a week, once a day, and a few days ago I got to do them at my other workplace's Halloween party, so that was very, very exciting.
Well, my name's Austin, first of all. For fun, I like to play basketball. As for fun, there's a lot of things I do in my spare time, though, but...
What about ball? What's so fun about it?
Well, I think for me, when I was a young boy, I really liked going outside. One of the sports that I would play the most was basketball in my neighborhood. I wasn't any good. I would always get killed on the court. So I became obsessed with it because I hate losing.
I've tried to play basketball a few times. I would like to think that I'm very good. I tried out so many times in middle school to play it. I wanted to make that team so badly, but I can't shoot, so...
You didn't make it?
I didn't make it. What are your pet peeves?
Being from Toronto, one of the biggest pet peeves I have is when people don't walk on the right anywhere. If people don't drive on the right, people will die. So I don't understand why people can't walk on the right everywhere.
I haven't spoken yet, so first of all, I'm Ella. One of my major pet peeves, which to kind of add to that, is when I take the subway, which I do very frequently, and you're on a really crowded train and you're standing by the door, so you have to get off to let other people exit, and then you go to get back on, and other people, new people trying to get on the train, will cut in front of you and take your spot, and you have to wait for the next one, and it just makes my heart sink every time.
Have you been cut off in a bus line?
I don't have to take the bus, so I actually don't think I have.
Count your blessings.
Yeah.
For me, you know what really grinds my gears? When someone messages you, they message you, you message back right away, and they don't message you for 2-3 hours. Why did you message me?
Okay, hi, my name is Anju, and to relate to that, I'm that kind of person. I don't like to respond back to someone's message. Either because your response was a little bit too dry, or I just didn't like your response, or there's no value to respond back to it. You know what I mean?
We all know those late responders, but when we get that right away text, I feel like you gotta respond. This principle.
Let's switch it over. Some best life advice, anything you can think of that you've received or given.
My dad used to say this. He used to say, "Forget tomorrow, for it hasn't come yet. And remember today, because it is a gift."
Back in high school, I had a mentor that shared a quote with me that really resonated with me even today. And it was actually from Winnie the Pooh. The quote is, "You are smarter than you think, braver than you believe, and stronger than you seem." I might be paraphrasing and switching up the order, but that's the gist of it. And that's basically what I live by. I really feel like we all have a tendency to self-doubt and underestimate ourselves, and sometimes it takes somebody else to kind of remind us that hey, you got this, you can do this. So I really think that's important life advice to carry.
Probably some of the best life advice I've ever gotten is that nothing comes for free, and it sounds kind of cynical, but like for me at least, it motivates me. Like I know that I have to try harder to get the things I want.
A personal motive that I like to go by, fake it until you make it, because what you present to the world is what you'll receive back. So even if you're having a bad day, if you look good, you feel better, because every time you walk by the mirror, you go, hey, hey.
I have one kind of like of our times. Mine is to unfollow anyone on social media that you don't talk to on a regular basis. I've done it myself and I feel so much better about myself, especially when we start talking about social media and how people present themselves on social media and how everyone looks so perfect. It's so hard on yourself sometimes to compare yourself to those people. And I found like when I stopped doing that, when I actually saw like, you know, I felt nice for the person rather than being like, oh man, I haven't gone out for dinner in so long. I need to do that. So it's kind of a nice thing to do, and it's some great advice that I've been living by for a while now. What do you like most about yourself that society tells you not to like?
I'll kick it off. I love my hair. It took me 20 years to love my hair, which is saying a lot about what society told me not to love about myself. When I first realized it was an issue was when I was graduating high school, because there was a note from the graduation portrait that said, no big hair. And I had a question there, was what is big hair? Is my hair big? What does that mean, and why is it not allowed? And from there I just decided, have I been trying so long to have straight hair? Why have I been trying so long to have things that I didn't need? And I've learned to love it, and people love it more because I love it more.
I've always been a very confident person. I'm seemingly oblivious to the things that society says should scare me or that I should be worried about. Like, I've always been that kid who raises her hand in class and will speak. I will try to answer the question even if I'm not sure if my answer is correct, because I just figure, what do I have to lose? And when you ask that question, Elizabeth, I kind of just remembered like a moment in elementary school, like grade 7, with me and 2 other girls standing in front of the bathroom mirror, and each of them was looking at themselves. One girl was complaining about her nose, another girl was complaining about her teeth, and then it got to me. I was 3rd in line, and I was just like, I like myself. Like, I really do, and I still do.
Oh, well, for me, I was always confident as well. I just feel there's a lot of things that, of course, you observe. For me personally, I'm not oblivious to it, but I do notice. And I think with my skin, for me, it was like, I was always confident that, okay, I'm black. You know, society has a certain view on that. And one thing that I always told myself was that with anything, whether it's your hair, your nose, your skin, whatever the case may be, when someone judges you based on that, it's a reflection of who they are rather than who you are. I never really felt the shade of it. It was more, okay, that's you. I like this. This is me.
What would somebody say about you that would surprise you about yourself?
I've been told that I can be intimidating, and I think that comes from walking confidently into a room. I find that surprising because I'm not an intimidating person. I love to laugh, and I'm really holding back right now for the nature of this. But yeah, I was very surprised by that the first time I heard it, and that was a really interesting reflection for me. So I tried to adjust my body language and other things as I go to make sure that people know that I'm really friendly.
On a similar note, I get a lot of times that people, when they first meet me, think I, like, really dislike them for some reason. I'm actually pretty friendly, but I think it's a similar thing. Maybe I give off this kind of energy where I'm, like, sort of to myself, and I don't like you, but I do.
One time, someone said this to me, which shocked me. They were like, you know, everybody has this view on you that you're hard and you're someone who doesn't come out of your shell a lot, but I see someone who is so soft inside and you're lovable. And I was like, oh, that would surprise me.
I am surprised when people tell me that I'm inspiring, especially sometimes I'll hear it from friends, but I can also sometimes hear it from people that I don't know that well and didn't even realize that they noticed me. So every time that I hear it, it sort of shows me like I'm kind of moving through life, and I'm a perfectionist, so I can be pretty self-critical and have a lot of judgments about the things that I do. and I'm not really like necessarily fully aware of how other people are seeing me move through the world, and that, you know, where I'm sometimes focused on all the things I'm not doing or the things that I could be doing better, other people are looking at me and are admiring me and are inspired by me. So that's always something that's surprising.
So what's something unusual that's happened to you recently?
I had a guy, I was in the store, and he came up to me and he's like, yo, what are you saying? And like, I'm not talking to you. What do you mean what I'm saying? And then he's like, you're saying you're trying to come chill with me? And like, first of all, I don't know you. Who are you? Say hi. I'm so-and-so, you know, think you're nice, da-da-da-da. I want to talk to you. But like, yeah, that's my strange stories.
This morning, actually, when I was on my way here, I went to go into my subway station, which is Bathurst Station, and they're doing their Presto Fairgate construction there. And so it's really complicated to like get in and pay, and it's like quite a hassle. And there's a TTC information person there with their red vest on. And the box where you put your tickets or change your tokens in is like, it's got a lock on it. And the person's standing there saying, oh, we can't accept these right now, so you have to go to Spadina or Christie, the next station, and get off, go back up, pay there, and then go back on your commute. And we were all just kind of standing there like, what is this? And so we were all just kind of like, yeah, okay.
This one time I went to No Frills, and it was just on my way home. I really had to pee, but I just needed to stop and like get my groceries. I go into like the express line and everything. I only had like 3 things, but there was this one like old man in front of me, and he had like this cranberry juice, and he really wanted his cranberry juice. Yeah, they wouldn't price match it for him. He was getting so upset about it. He was calling the manager. He was you know, like making sure all the cashiers knew that he wasn't getting his cranberries, and he was so upset about it. It took forever. I kept looking at the McDonald's. I was like, I could just leave and go there and pee in their washroom, but I couldn't. And I don't know, that's just the kind of people who are around Markham, apparently. Let's talk about why we're here. Why are you in Why Are You?
I've been manifesting this opportunity. I do divination and I like to manifest things, but I joined Why Are You because the timing was perfect. I graduated this year from U of T, and when I graduated, they covered the story on CBC, which was really cool and very flattering. And I was told that I have a great radio voice. But I was told initially by the old members at the gym I used to work at, I would do the closing announcements, have my 15 seconds of fame every Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. And the members made sure every week to come and tell me, oh, you have the best announcement voice. I don't know what happened with the other guy. He'd always... And they just continued to flatter me. And one time, another gentleman came by and he said, you know, I used to work for BBC, and I don't need to know how much experience you have to know that your voice is what radio likes. And I said, oh, that's great. What should I do? He said, you know, you should volunteer. I said, great. And then the application came, and I applied a little bit late, but it worked out. And here I am.
The reason why I joined Why Are You, I also believe in manifesting things. And I've been told very recently, I don't know, that I should start a podcast or be on radio. I guess it was because of the conversations I was having with my peers and just things I would just talk about. I'm like, we can't talk about ball all day. You know what I mean? We need to diversify what we're talking about. We need to be talking about different subjects. And I got an email about Advocate for Children and Youth. When I seen the email and I seen what it was about, that is when I said, you know what? Thank you, God, because that was a sign, and I took it.
For me, it was in the summer, and I had just gotten back from a trip to Las Vegas, and I opened my email, and the York Region District School Board, which is the school board I'm in, they sent an email out to everyone with information on Why Are You, and how it was a great volunteer opportunity, and I read it, and I was like, wow, like, I need to do this. I've gone through a few mental health things in my life. I've worked in a museum discussing a lot of Native studies. I've won a few tech awards here and there, and I really wanted to go into journalism. Even better, I want to go into journalism at Ryerson University. So this is even better for my portfolio. Everything kind of added up. I really wanted to say something about things that matter. That's always something that I've wanted to do and want to do for the rest of my life.
I got an email sent to me with all the information from somebody who I'd worked with before with other youth social justice things, panels and lectures and whatnot. And I was like, oh, this sounds interesting, I'll read it through. And so I read it through and I kind of thought on it for a while and I was like, I don't know, I don't want to have too much on my plate. And then some other things that I was doing kind of fell off the board and I wasn't really doing them. And I was like, you know what, this is the right time, I'm gonna do it. Why not? It sounds like something that I'd be interested in. I've got nothing to lose, I decided I'd give it a shot.
I really like to create things, as I mentioned earlier. Never tried podcasting, so I just thought that it would be a cool opportunity to create. When I am able to be creative and artistic, it makes me feel happier and it gives me a sense of purpose, and it's something that can be a source of pride for me. So I thought that for all those reasons, I would benefit from this opportunity to join the YRU.
So this is my second year with YRU, and at first what I thought it was just a group of teens, young adults coming together just to talk about political issues or so forth. The show was already created. When I came here, it was a bit different. It was fun. I learned a lot while I was here during my first year, and I made a lot of connections, and due to that, I decided to come back for another year.
I think we've all gotten to know each other just a little bit better, and hopefully you have too. You can catch us on Thursdays in the afternoon or Tuesday mornings at 12:80 a.m. or at cjru.ca.